look so fancy. Yeah, I can send that to you. Oh, good. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, cool. It is. I'm gonna start us in a second. Hold on one moment. Yeah, I'll let you back in. I'm gonna send you right now. Wait, I have to make David my co-host, and I'm gonna bring you back in. Whoop, whoop. Whoa, wait, that was weird. Hello? Hello? Okay, sorry. Hello? Sorry. I was testing the levels for Wirecast, sorry. Hey everyone, happy Friday. Welcome to another fine episode of Imagination Sessions. And I have my lovely people with me here. David Tobin is right below me. He is the founder, creator of Audiojack. We have Mike Archer. I love that I can point. Mike Archer and Lindsay Rutledge right here. Yes. So I love our show so far. I'm not gonna lie, and it's great. And every episode we've been bringing in somebody new from the creative space, whether they be a musician, an author, a director, actor, and it's cool to involve them in this process and get their perspectives, because what we have found is no two people have the same story, no matter if they're listening to the same thing or not. So today, this person I haven't seen in 7 or 8 years, and I'm really excited. His name is Sohale Dezfoli, and we did a film together, a short film back in 2013 called Insentient, and he was the writer-director for that. And this year, he actually was, he did this film called Active Shooter. He was a producer for. So I'm going to bring him in now. We can show you his face. Hey! Good! This is Sohale. We were just talking about you. Just a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, sorry without you. I was letting people know that we haven't seen each other for 7 or 8 years. You're the writer-director of Insentient, and that's where I met you. And I know. Everyone that was a part of that crew, I don't know, it was weird. I've been a part of a lot of productions, but for whatever reason, that group of people, we've all stayed in touch over the years. Yeah, it was really neat. Lindsay actually saw so you produced a film called Active Shooter, right? And Lindsay actually watched it. Go watch it on Prime. So this should be fun. I'm excited to do an Audiojack with him because your mind's a little twisted. Yeah.
David, we're hearing
Excellent.
on
Yes.
on Facebook. It looks like there's no sound except for Elizabeth.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird. Huh.
And they're
Okay,
saying
here
no
it is.
sound
Now,
on
is it-
YouTube either.
There's no sound, really.
There is now.
I don't know what. Oh,
Can you hear me?
yeah.
All right.
We can hear.
Okay, is there a sound now? Hey,
Yeah, there's sound now.
Okay, let's see.
Elizabeth, what would you do?
It was like what?
I
Okay,
fixed
now they're
it.
saying it's good.
Great. So
Okay.
in 30
Nice.
seconds, I'm going
Okay.
to introduce Sohale Dezfoli.
We're starting over.
we're starting over. Well, everyone that just watched that, I hope you could all read lips. That was part of the test.
There's
It
no
was
subtitles.
part of the test.
Oh my goodness.
This is
That's
not
funny.
closed captioned, unfortunately.
No, it's not. But we're good now.
We are good. Okay, yes, I'm
Yes.
getting notifications. Yes, all right. that's our. I hear someone else is in the background. Does someone else have their audio on from their broadcast now?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, cool.
Is it
All right,
me?
nice. Well, that's part of the fun. We're done here. An audio project with no audio. That's how we roll. Um,
Was that
So,
was that the
it's all
show? Are we
good.
done?
No, we're done. It's over.
Yep.
No, we're gonna do it right now. We're gonna hop inside.
Yeah.
We're gonna hop inside the lovely Audiojack app. I'm gonna mirror it real quick. And for all of you at home that are watching, all you guys out there, you can all do this on your own. The Audiojack app is free to download. There's a bunch of Audiojacks in there you can try right off the bat that won't cost you a penny. And then if you do decide to subscribe, it's costs like $1.25 a month. So watch out, pretty expensive.
Ooh.
And now we are inside the wonderful Audiojack app. And as you can see, there's a bunch of different categories here. The only category we're not going to be playing with is the AR category. That works with the Bose AR headphones and allows you to kind of move around inside the audio jacks. So for today, we're going to stick with one of these categories. And I have one in mind, but I like to ask, like, do you see anything on here, any category that speaks to you?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any category in here that speaks to you.
I'm gonna say life, because that's
Life. All right.
2020,
It's
man.
fun. That's great. I
Just
really,
life, am I right?
I like that you picked that category. I'm really happy because there's two in here that I was actually thinking of doing anyway. So here we are.
Ooh.
So I think we're gonna do this one called Dog Day Afternoon, and just kind of see what comes up with it. So we're gonna hear it twice, and the story can be anything you want. Think of this as a writing prompt in a way, something like that, and it's gonna become whatever you want it to be. It's gonna play twice, and then when it's done, we're gonna hear what you came up with, and we'll share stories and
Let's
all
do
that
it.
goodness. All right, so I'm gonna mute y'all somehow. Where's my thing? Where's my thing? That's a technical term. There we are. Awesome. All right, you guys are all muted, and I'm gonna mute myself so everyone at home can listen along without hearing my voice. So for everyone at home, close your eyes. All our guests, close your eyes, relax, and let your imagination go. right, it's gonna play. The same one's gonna play again. Now it's time to create the narrative, create a story. Think about your character. What's the motivation? What do they look like? Where are they? And then we'll share afterward.
Shirley's.
That last little bit out of it. All right, there we go. A little dog day afternoon for those of you that is afternoon still, wherever you're at. You guys can unmute yourselves now and chat. But there you go. There's something a little different. The audio jacks kind of bounce around in different categories, I know. So I thought that'd be kind of a fun one to do for today.
That was life. That's what it was.
Yep.
Right? There we go. Cool. Nice. Now we get to hear what was created by y'all. I know, Lindsay, you're still writing. I can see the pen fever going in your hand.
Yep.
That's quite all right.
Yep.
Nice.
Are we supposed to write?
so-
I didn't know we were writing.
No.
You can do whatever you
There's
want.
no right or wrong way to do it.
There's no right.
Oh,
Or
what?
Womp womp.
Here all night. Try the veal. So there it is. So there's an audio jack for you. There's tons of different ones that are, some are very intense and crazy and whatever, and some are like this, but the story can be anything you want. Would you like to kick it off and go first and then share what you got, or would you like to hear someone else's story first?
No, I'll do it. I thought it was therapeutic, even though it was what, 4 minutes.
Yeah,
This is one of the
there is-
quieter ones.
Yeah.
There weren't lasers coming at us or anything.
I know.
No, not this time. And that's funny you mentioned that. There's a whole therapy side to Audiojack. It's used in a lot of places for therapy. In fact, I got a text message today from someone, from a friend whose friend uses it while they get their steroid injections, and they listen to it so they can feel like they're somewhere else and actually feel like they're somewhere else. So.
Yeah, but even with this being so quiet, I mean, I haven't heard anything else from Audiojack. But even with it being so quiet, kind of for me fits into life. Even especially 2020, you're just alone at home. You're stuck with you're stuck with your own thoughts. You're forced to navigate through your own head.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Honestly, listening to it the first time, that's what it was. The second time, it was even more in depth. This guy's just wandering alone, opening several different doors, seeing what's in the door. Maybe he doesn't want to deal with that, so he closes it back up and walks around again, walks into another door. That's what it was for me. It was like, have you seen the?
That's interesting.
I thought, for me, I just went into the desert, just this massive open space, and there were just random doors floating, and I would just open one, and it would lead, kind of like Monsters Inc.
Oh, okay.
Where they
Nice.
like open the door, and it's like someone's they're the nightmare, or they're the monster that's coming into the bedroom.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that door. You open it up, and you're just in another world, and you're just you're just alone. You're forced to deal with something. And I think that some of the best thing you could ever do is be alone, just because you're forced to deal with certain things. And then you can go out and be with other people. Because how can you be happy if you're not happy alone first?
Totally.
How can you be happy with anybody else?
True.
So
Yeah.
so give us the story. So was it nighttime or daytime in the desert?
For me, it was nighttime.
Oh, okay.
I'm just the only constant was the bird chirping for me, and that's what was guiding me through this massive, there's nothing, you can't really see anything. You just, as you're walking, a door appears, or the doorknob appears, not even the whole door. You just turn the knob and you walk in, and it's another sound that would come in, and that sound would take me somewhere else. And that's these little images put together. That's, I guess, what life is.
What
And
were
I
you
guess
seeing?
that's
What were
why
the images?
some of them, it's just like there was nothing intense about it. Everything was at peace. And even if there was something that I would open the door to, and there was that violence. And Elizabeth knows almost everything I do is like some form of violence in it. But for me, that violence brings me that peace, and the birds just bring me in and out, and the dog running around me. Who knows? I don't know. Who knows what that is?
Yeah. It's
If
interesting
I
that you
I
said
feel
that.
really interesting.
I feel
Yeah.
I feel like if I kept, like, because even when I come up with ideas, like, I'll go for a drive for 2 to 3 hours and I'll play the same song on repeat, because at some point that same song just becomes ambient noise, and then you're free to think of whatever you want. You don't even listen to the lyrics. You don't even listen to the specific sounds. All you're hearing is kind of like just white noise.
It just becomes
And
meditative. Totally.
That's what it becomes. And the second time hearing that track, that's what it kind of was. It was just white noise.
Okay.
The first time kind of brought me into it. The second time, it was just background noise. I wasn't even listening to the specific details.
Yeah.
Um,
What kind of dog was it? What kind of dog was it for you?
I don't know dog breeds. I have a cat myself, but well, actually, she gets offended. She gets offended when I call her my cat, so I'm going to refer to her as my daughter.
Oh.
Don't want to offend the cat.
It definitely wasn't a small dog for me. It was more of a dog, and I'm not that tall of a person myself. So for me, maybe a golden retriever, and it was just that's what it was.
Sure.
Or maybe it was a cat, and maybe while I'm dreaming, the cat sounds like a dog. Who knows?
Very, very large cat.
I like that.
That would
That's
be
cool.
pretty
That's really-
cool, actually.
The way you described it to me, I kind of got a very like cross, but the way your story was, like as you were telling it to me, I got a very like MC Escher kind of vibe from it in a way. You know that famous painting of all the clocks dripping in the desert?
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
Like that's kind of what I was getting from your story in a way. But that feeling of it, not necessarily seeing that, but that kind of feeling of just like abstractness in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, and I mean, feelings eventually turn into stories. So who knows? I mean, just coming up with something on the spot like that is you just have to go with the vibe, man. Just go where see where it takes you. You know, like
Yeah.
if I'm driving and I'm for 2 hours and the same song is going, that's really when the good stories come out. In the beginning, it is just thoughts. It is just pictures coming in and out. But eventually, you just create this whole image, and I guess that's what life is. You just little pieces here and there, you know. And then eventually, on your deathbed, you're kind of like have this epiphany. This is what life was. This is what it means. And I feel like that. And I feel like this sound and this track really was that moment on your deathbed where you're just like remembering everything and opening these doors to different things. And you might not get to all the doors, you know. I mean, who knows?
Mhm.
It is an empty space in the desert. That's what life is
Yeah.
for me. I don't mean to be
I like
dark.
it.
No, that
it's-
was really interesting.
My
It's really
setting
good.
was a desert
Yeah.
too.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Would you like to go next? Would you like to go next? I'd love to
I'll
hear
go
it.
next, but mine's dark.
Oh man.
That's
We
fine.
Hey,
only
we never
fancy.
shy.
We go from
never
life
shy
to
away
death
from
very
that.
quickly if I go next.
Yeah, let's
Well,
let's do
let's do
group
it.
therapy.
That's all right.
Yeah.
We'll do all sorts.
It's an audio
It-
Rorschach.
It could have been because I said beforehand, you know, usually there's something a little twisted about what you'll write. So the first time I really didn't hear as much as I did the second time, so it was kind of opposite for me. It came to
Okay.
life more definitely the second time I listened to it. There were a lot of sounds actually that I missed the first time around. So yeah, it wasn't completely out in the middle of nowhere, but it was in the desert where, you know, homes are miles apart from each other. And this guy was in this house, and I feel like he just at first you think that he lives there because the dog is kind of like wanting to go outside, and I felt like at one moment he rubbed the dog's head and he just came out of the bedroom. But then it was weird because I heard the car pull up, and then the image changed to like this guy just killed someone that was in the house. And
There we are.
He was sitting
Yep,
at the
here we
kitchen
go.
table drinking coffee, rubbing the dog's head. The dog was whimpering to go outside. The car pulls up, opens the door, and this person hides in the house, and the person that actually lives there is starting to go through the house. And that's kind of like what the story was for me. Like this killer like was living like it was almost like you thought the killer lived in the house. He woke up that morning with his dog wants to go out to pee. He's like having his cup of coffee at the kitchen table, but you realize once that other car pulls up that this is not his house.
Ooh, okay.
that he just committed a crime, but he was going about it as though it was just another morning. And there was
Wow.
such a calmness about the whole thing.
Was he like a
Yeah.
hitman, or was he like a hitman, or was he like a
No.
professional, or was he just a
No,
crazy
I
person?
think it was just a serial killer.
Was it you?
Just a serial killer.
She said it was a guy. It was
Oh,
it was a
it was
man.
a
for
guy.
you? It was a guy.
Yeah. A lot of times when we do these sessions, I do take like first person, but for this one I didn't, which was interesting for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because the moment
Nice.
when I heard that car pull up and going to the door, I also heard chains. And so almost like pulling them off the table and the other guy leaving.
Maybe,
Okay.
maybe
Kitchen
you
table
were the.
to go hide
Maybe,
in the house because there was no way for him to get out by then.
I feel like
I
you were
think
the
he
driver.
expected somebody to get there.
Oh.
Did you say the Guyver?
No, the guy.
No, I
The Guyver.
Do you
The
remember that
driver?
movie?
Yes.
Okay,
No,
that's what I thought he said. I was like,
Yeah.
never. Anyway,
I have no idea what you guys just talked
old
about.
sci-fi. It's
I
like
don't know
a,
what
it's
you're talking
a
about, but that
90s
was
sci-fi.
my story.
Yeah.
The guy was
Yeah, that's
like,
really
you know,
cool.
from audience perspective, the guy was lived there, and he was just having a cup
Wow.
of coffee with his dog in the morning. But that was not the scene.
That's an interesting twist, though. I think that's really interesting.
I
For
don't
like,
know.
if watching
It
from
is
a
really
show, like
interesting.
imagine you're watching like the movie and you're getting into it and you're into that space and you're like comfortable, whatever. But then all
Yeah,
of a sudden,
imagine like
changes.
so he's at the kitchen
disconnect, yeah.
table, rubs the dog's head, and imagine like a pan to the bedroom where you
Yes!
see this bloody scene. Yeah, that's what I saw.
And then the other car, like I saw
And
this
then the
like
car
dolly shot
pulls
of it,
up,
like
and
rolling through.
but there's a calmness. There's no urgency to leave. It's like he takes the chains and he goes to hide in the house to kill this person.
Is it sort of like
So-
he's almost kind of like taking that other person's place and just is just like, oh, this is just where I live and this is my life, and
No, I didn't feel like
He
this
was
character had that
just-
much depth. I felt
It
like
feels like
very
Old Man
much
from
like,
no, what was it?
I'm just going to enjoy a cup of coffee.
yeah,
It feels like Javier Bardem's
completely
character
disconnected.
from No Country
Yeah.
for Old Men, like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
right? Like that kind of vibe.
Yeah,
Like that very soft.
I could totally see that. Yes.
Yeah,
That's who I was casting in my head. I was totally casting Javier as just because the way you
Yeah,
described
there's
it, with that
nothing-
that presence of confidence, but
Yeah,
not
it's a
concern.
presence of calmness. Like
Yeah.
nothing's wrong. It's just it's like having a cup of coffee is the same feeling that this person gets when they kill somebody. It's like that,
right.
and
Wow.
like there's just a lack of presence to it. It just rolls
Completely
off the tongue out of
disconnected
your
Sure.
from everything.
I don't know.
Wow,
Wow.
that's really interesting. That's really
I don't
interesting.
know.
Yeah. Who would like to go
Hello,
next?
Elizabeth-
It was psychopath.
Oh,
Elizabeth said I was dark.
yeah, right. I know. Like,
Aha!
what the hell?
This is why I liked his script, though.
This is-
Yeah.
I know a great therapist.
Someone actually posted in the YouTube chat, like, can we do some therapy? Pretty funny. Who'd like to go next? On this?
I'll
Who would
go
like to go
unless
next?
Lindsay's
Mike?
still writing.
Lindsay, you ready?
I'm always writing still, so
Oh,
I'll hurry. You can go.
All right, we'll
I'll
do
let-
Mike
Mike
go
can
to
go.
Lindsay.
Yeah.
And then for any of you watching out there, someone's writing. Okay, someone's writing some other stuff about therapy and saying it's a predator's instinct one develops when they desensitize themselves from violence repeatedly.
See?
Someone could we were able to hear you guys with the headphones, but the audio jack was tough to hear on YouTube. Sorry, guys. Well, go get the app and listen to it on your own, maybe. I'm sorry. We'll figure that out. We will get that kink
Yeah.
worked out. But thank you for watching, Jennifer, out there. Thank you so much for that. We will work on
We'll
that.
crank
but,
it up.
yeah, we'll figure it out. All right. Well, the stories are great. So, Mike, continue. Story time.
Mine is wow. Mine is simple. Mine is yeah. So and it could be because I talked to her quite a bit. She's like a good, like a best friend of mine, and I consider her my third daughter, so shout out to Karina. But she's a nurse, and so I just picture her after like a 14-hour shift, getting off work. It's in the afternoon. She's tired. But knowing her, she's like, but I got to hit the gym or I got to go running. So she's getting home, and she has a couple dogs, but this one sounded like the main one, which was a husky named Odin. And I just see her getting home, grabbing up the leash, putting on her running shoes, and then taking him outside. And then where she lives at, there's a trail that goes up into like the mountains. So I just picture her running, going up into the trail, and then start jogging a little bit. But the doggy has to take a little break, so she's busting out the little bag, you know, picking up some
Cleanup
stuff.
duty.
Yeah.
Oh
Duty.
God, I didn't even.
Oh,
Literally.
and then she's still kind of tired, but she's enjoying that view, and so she just kind of standing there and just turns around and she's looking at the city and just enjoying the birds and the sun and just relaxing. And so that's what I pictured.
that's awesome, man.
That's
I really
cool.
like that.
I bet
I
she
really
would
like
love to
that.
hear that. She'd be
Yeah.
like, please, every
Probably
day.
will.
I would just love that. Especially right now. Oh my God.
That's great, man. That was really cool.
Yeah.
I like that. It's a really neat feeling that get that. Did you have a particular dog in mind?
Well, I was hearing or I felt like it was a golden retriever, but knowing
Okay.
her, she has two huskies.
All right.
So Odin, and I don't know what the other dog's name is,
Yeah.
but definitely an Odin.
All right.
So
I like Odin. That sounds good.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was golden retriever for me too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goldens are good
Nice.
dogs. They're good
Oh,
dogs.
yeah.
My lighting over here is whack. I got to get a real light over here instead of using this thing. I look blue and white. It's very goofy.
Blue's the best light color.
Yeah, clearly.
Pick everyone up.
That's neat, man. I like that. Lindsay, you're up.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
So I'm not done, but like last time I can kind of fudge
Yeah.
it along.
Lindsay likes to
Um,
write a full story, complete story.
I
Then
don't
you should
know.
just put them
So my-
online. Publish it.
Yeah, you should put them
I have
online.
to. I have
Should.
so many scraps of paper with these things on it, and I really should try to organize that stuff.
Especially
Okay.
since some of them has continued on from one to
Yeah, I was
another.
gonna say there were like 10 sessions that it was a continuation of the previous session.
10 sessions. Oh my lord. I think it was
She
more
never-
like 3.
She
She
kept
never left
taking
the
this.
chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was like each time we would start the Audiojack, it was like car sounds again. And that's what the first one had started from. So my brain just immediately went back there and I was like, damn it. So now I have to write more. But they kept wanting me to write more anyway. So I was like, now they're happy they get what they want. Okay. So the weather is perfect today and Andy is pleading with me to go out and play. My roommate is due home any minute, so I get changed and throw on some running shoes. I hear her car pull into the driveway. Andy and her do not get along. And when she opens the door to come in, Andy starts to whine. Her favorite time of the day is any time the roommate is gone. Andy and I take out the door and jog with her down to our favorite park. Her first stop is always the water fountain, but this time she didn't even look at it. She ran straight for the woods, so I take off after her. And that's all I had written down, but pretty much I was thinking that she just keeps going further and further, like deeper into these woods. And so she's obviously smelling something. I have a beagle mix, so
Okay.
she's all about her nose. And so that's and her name is Andy too. So that's where that's from. So I was just thinking, I kind of lose her along the way, but then I hear her start whining and scratching at stuff. And when I finally catch up to her, she's found like remains of some sort.
Hmm.
Remains
Okay.
of what?
So
Yeah.
hi, I'm dark too.
Wait a second.
What remains of
Aha.
what?
We don't know. We don't know. Just
But like, are they?
remains.
It's like,
Is it a dead
is it like
body?
Is it bones? Is it like
Probably
an eyeball?
multiple. It's just a graveyard.
Multiple eyeballs?
It's a dead
Oh.
body that Elizabeth's character killed.
Yes.
Oh, there it is.
Same neighborhood. Same. It's a bad neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything comes
You
I
together.
don't know why I moved there.
You know what?
Yeah.
All my character had to do was walk through one of Sohale's doors.
I was just gonna say, how do we
Ah.
go through your door?
Oh, yeah.
Right through that portal.
Yeah.
You know, I may or may not have killed anybody, but I'm not going to confess to it on this thing.
Oh yeah.
This is
What
a
was the
safe
number?
space. It's a safe space.
What was the number to that therapist again?
Right.
Door number
That's
5.
awesome.
That's what it was.
I like that. That's cool, Lindsay. I want to hear more of it when it gets going. I want to find
Yeah.
out what the remains. Are they of the day?
Maybe some
Or
other
the-
time I'll start thinking of this one again. Depends what you start playing.
That's awesome. I mean, it's funny. I've had people like send in emails all of a sudden, like, "Oh, we watched your Audiojack session, but you guys had finished before we didn't have a chance to whatever." And then all of a sudden, we'll get like emails of the full story and stuff like that. It's kind of neat to
Oh,
see
that's cool.
Yeah.
how it continues on. So mine
Yeah.
for this one, like, I actually made this one, and I have a tough time divorcing myself from it. But I was inspired today just to kind of like really try to create a different narrative with this. And so I had a specific idea in mind when I created this Audiojack. And but for this one, for today, I used it to create a different narrative in my head. And for some reason, I jumped to I Am Legend and that kind of vibe.
Ooh.
And I went right to that, but it's before the movie started. And I'm talking about the one with Will Smith, not the original. What was it? The Omega Man? Is
I
the
can
original?
totally see that. Yeah.
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 This is he's living in a house at this point. So this is earlier on, and it's a house, and there's basically comes back to the house. The dog's super excited. Like, dog doesn't know any better. He's just happy to see his master. But he
First
comes
dog
back,
from the movie.
and it's this very like tree-lined street. Like the houses look like things look normal, but a little off, like a little rundown, and some things have been starting to overgrow in some areas. Like as if you've all seen the movie, you know, towns are like covered in stuff, and this is kind of like things are
Mhm.
starting to overgrow. Things are starting, kind of looks like how Detroit does right now. No offense to any Detroit people out there, but it's just how it is. And so it's that element of where it's kind of everything's a little bit broken, and that
Yeah.
element of it gets back home, and he has driven this truck that's kind of on its last legs. Gets home, and the dog. This is all from the dog's perspective. This isn't from him. This is the dog telling the story in a way. So the dog's home, and it's looking at the window, and it's kind of looking around, and it can sense him. Obviously, he's there. Then gets there and gets super excited, and runs up and down the stairs. It's running around this house, and it's kind of like it's not their home. Like he's taken over this home because no one lives anywhere anymore. And so if the dog is still kind of new to the house and looking around other areas and like trying to find something to bring its master, like, oh God, you're home. I'm so excited you came back. Because dogs will do that sometimes, you know, like, here's my
Mhm.
toy I was playing with all day. I'm a good dog. So
They
it's this very
do.
happy feeling throughout it with this impending doom with the world still looking a little bit recognizable before it got to where it is. So it was this kind of hauntingness on the outside of it. And then he goes to take the dog out for a walk, and they're going down, and there's a park and a path, and the dog starts getting a little further ahead, and so he starts running after the dog, and then eventually slows down as they get to a clearing, and he's just taking in the silence of it all. And the dog's doing its thing, jumping in a big pile of leaves, having the time of his life. It's fall. It's wonderful, you know, and all this stuff running around there. For the dog I got more of a bully breed, not a Rottweiler, not a pit, but maybe like a mix, something that, you know, more of a bully breed
Mhm.
dog, somewhere in
Yeah.
that stage, a little more heavier, tougher kind of beat, but still super happy, playful, and really kind of nice. And then the dog kind of runs off at one point, and the story kind of switches here at this point. Like, it's all from the dog's perspective, and you're kind of seeing it. Like, I would almost use this as like an introduction, like an opening, like a cold opening scene for the movie before the main title hits. And so you're seeing, because you're seeing all from the dog's
Mm.
perspective. And it's all this
Yep.
stuff, and then eventually the dog kind of runs off at the end, and we're left there just in the park, and then the camera kind of pans. Because I also like switch cameras, and I like start doing all sorts of weird stuff in my head.
Yeah.
But then the camera kind of pans, and it's like we've seen the main character, but we haven't really seen him yet. And then we finally kind of get a reveal of him and the world around, and we can see that there's definitely things happening, and maybe like way off in the distance there's smoke, so it's like there's still fragments of humanity still around. But that's what I got from this. That's why I started putting together and trying to create with the narrative on that one.
Wow.
Wow.
So that's where I went with that.
Yeah,
deep.
that's awesome.
That's a good
I like
movie.
that.
I'll watch that.
It
Yeah.
is a
Awesome.
good yeah, right.
Sweet.
Call it life.
You should. That's
Right?
perfect. Yeah.
Like, if I could see it like the main title after it cuts to him and the thing, then it goes boom, and it's all those letters that do this kind of like the letters are like this, and they all fan in life. And it cuts away, and it's him
like
in a
that.
lab. Like I've always wanted to make a film where I don't have to tell the world what it is. Like someday I wish I would be like super famous. I could just put out a film and no one would really care. They would just watch it. Because it'd be so neat. I mean, that's why I love Audiojacks, because you go into them, you can't see what it's going to be about. You don't know what it's going to be about. You can
Mhm.
make it whatever way you want, you know? And I think the idea of like going into a film, like not knowing what it is and just going along for the ride, like it'd be so cool to have things happen and you're kind of like, what's going on? And, you know, what happened to this town? And then later you find at the very end of it, it's like the very beginning to something you do know. Like, I think that'd be a really interesting
Oh, yeah.
thing, something like that. So that's where I went with mine.
It's like
Yeah.
a video game.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, fun stuff, right? And unfortunately, I don't know if anyone on our other streams were they able to hear the audio jack, because on the YouTube feed over here, people said they had issues hearing it, the actual audio jack itself. But hopefully, if anyone else has chatted,
with
said anything
Facebook,
else.
people seem to have been hearing it because they were making
Okay.
comments like, "Please have the dog eating people." Thanks, Keith.
Yeah. Good job, Keith.
Kick us to that one. So I think people heard it.
I
That's-
can
all
reenact. I can
It
I can
was
reenact the sounds if
quieter
you want.
one.
right. Yeah,
What?
it definitely.
I said
Yeah,
I can
it is
reenact the sounds if you want.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
If we have enough.
Be entertaining.
I like it. Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, on my end, it sounded okay. These headphones are also incredibly loud. So that might have been it. But yeah, it definitely is a more quieter one. It was, if you guys would like to know like where this one came from, I can tell you that as well. Like what came up with this, or would you guys like not to know anything about the audio jack and just let it be?
I kind of
Actually,
want
I
to
like
know.
knowing, yeah.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, you want to know, or do you want to let it be?
Oh.
Well, the fun thing about this is like I can say I created it for a nonprofit that deals with pack animals, and it was part of a fundraising tool to help people have a really happy experience with a dog, and that's where it came from. From
Okay,
that
now
I
we
feel
element
like I
know.
ruined all of that for them in that moment.
No, see that's what's so awesome about this is that that's the fun of this. It's a toy. Like our imaginations are a toy that we get to play with. We get to take this and do different things with it and make it into a different story. And that was something that like
Yeah.
I created with them. But also when I create these too, and the other people at the team create these, there's always this element of like it could go this way, this way, this way. We build them that way, so you can have these wonderful stories like you came up with, and take them in that place. And it's all about the
Yeah.
guys. That's why it's great that you came into this without knowing anything about Audiojack.
That's true.
You know, it had come in.
Yeah,
And that's the
I'm
fun of
glad
it, that we
that
can
it
come
was
in and
like
play with
that.
this toy.
I know. Yeah, I thought that too.
Janice
Yeah,
said
and
the
that-
sound was epic, so I'm not
Awesome.
sure.
And
guess
like
that works for
for people watching, I don't know how
She
many
said
of them
she was
use
watching on Video
headsets.
Space.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the most important thing.
Well,
It is.
Keith,
It is. I
Keith
mean,
asked. Keith asked the question: do Goldens eat people though?
I saw that one.
I think
They're,
if they're hungry enough,
Yeah, sure.
yeah, if the dog's hungry enough, yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
stand by
Did
the
they come
fact that
from
the
what?
dog just wanted to pee.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that so much. I don't know why.
Yeah.
That-
It's so funny. It's just
well,
so
that,
funny.
that's a lot of what they do. I mean,
Yeah, that's all. The dogs
What's
just
happening?
they just pee.
they sleep, they pee.
That's like
Hey.
Run around. That's life.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
It's back to life.
life.
It was the
But that's
perfect
really
title
fun.
for it.
Yeah. I love this. I love the stories that we all came up with and how it's so different. And then and for your first experience here with an audio jack, I mean, what did you think about, be able to dive into something like this?
I thought it was cool. I've never done it. But it was similar to me just playing a track on repeat and just getting into that zone. Whether I'm writing, I paint a lot, and when I do paint,
Okay.
I play a song for like the same song for like an hour or 2 hours on repeat. It's not even a song anymore. It's just noise.
Right.
You
I was
know?
going to
What kind
say,
of
when you
genre?
were talking about it earlier, it sounded like this is kind of your creative process anyways.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I have two older sisters, and when they would like study, they always had music or TV in the background, and they would just be studying. And I'm like, how the hell are you doing this? I needed like peace and quiet. But then as I got older, I realized that having that noise just does distract you from the outside world. Then you do go into that space.
Yeah.
If I had used that technique in school, I wouldn't have been on academic probation so many times. I would have done well. But now later in life, when I do anything creative, I do have one song that I choose beforehand, and I do play it on repeat over and over until it just becomes just noise, and that's when I start creating.
Nice.
That's cool.
So yeah, this
Awesome,
process
man.
was cool. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah,
And,
thanks for being on here, dude.
I know.
Yeah,
I can
Elizabeth-
see your face.
Elizabeth is actually going to send me a check soon.
I'm gonna send you a check.
No, I'm joking. No.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
God.
Yeah, this is really cool. And I'm glad that also for the rest of our group here, for Mike, Lindsay, and Elizabeth, to hear a different audio jack than just something from like the action, adventure, wildlife thing, to be able to like.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
It's gotten
different.
very
Yeah.
sci-fi, which I don't mind.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way we lean anyways, so.
Yeah. Actually, on last night's session, I also do these kind of more just Zoom sessions that aren't broadcast to the world. We do them twice a week as well for people to join. And last night's session, I decided to do something. There's a feature that's coming out in the Audiojack app that doesn't exist yet, so I tried to jerry rig it last night. It's basically you're gonna be able to create playlists and be able to put different ones together and
Yes.
just let them
We had
play, and then
talked
they
about
just kind of roll into the next. So last night, what I did is I just swapped really quickly between two different audio jacks, and we heard two back to back, and they combined them, and they were ones that people had heard before, but then it totally changed your narrative because they were combined in a way, and it was a really neat thing to kind of roll out with it.
Cool.
So maybe
Yeah,
we'll try that sometime here.
I was wondering about that because when I had those stories that continued or whatever, you said you wanted to play with that and make that a different feature on the app.
Yeah, all fun things coming out next year.
Nice.
How long has this been out? That
So Audiojack has been a company for about 5 years, and it started primarily in creating content in the Audiojack space to be used in writing programs. And so we do exactly what we did, except it would continue to play while you actually write. And grades have gone up from students left and right because they're not being told, you need to do this, this, and this, and you're going to be graded on this. It's like, listen to this and create a story. Then afterward, they tell them what skills they used and grade them the same way, but it changes the learning model and it becomes a reward mechanism for students.
That's
and
so
different things like
cool.
that.
Important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love that.
and that's got a lot of attention in that space. And then also in the health world, people like this person today that I got a message from that was using it for their steroid injections. When people go through chemotherapy or dialysis, usually you're looking around at all the other things going on, and it's a very stressful experience because you're seeing different stages of something that you're dealing with. So when you close your eyes and listen to an audio jack, you feel like you're somewhere else. And there's a whole therapeutic element to it. And we've done a lot of research about with brain programs like UC Riverside and other things like that. We work with the federal program for the blind. In fact, we're working on a grant with them right now to do a bunch of stuff for Audiojack and other areas. So it's used, the same content's used in all these areas because of our imagination, because of how healthy it is to be a creative person and engage your imagination for a little while. And especially now that everyone's on a phone, to close your eyes and just let your mind go. So it's existed about 5 years ago and has grown to this, and then
it's
here we are
awesome.
today. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be a part of this.
Yeah. I'm really happy you came out. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
I mean, this
Yeah,
has
you're
it's
the
been
best
awesome.
doing this.
Yeah,
It's cool.
absolutely. Super fun. And if you ever want to come back
Totally.
in, we'd love to have you and play something totally different for you as well. And
Something
some
Yeah, I'm
fun.
down,
Wow.
man.
Yeah.
Let me know. I'll come.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Nice. This is great. This is
Yeah.
wonderful.
It's
I
good.
hope everyone else watching out there in the world had a good time and came up with some fun stories and had a chance to check out from all the BS in the world and go be a
Yeah.
murderer for a little while with Elizabeth. And,
And
or
if you
do
wrote
some
a story
dimension
and-
traveling.
and if they wrote a story and they're comfortable enough, put them in the comments because we would love to read them. That would be
Yes.
awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, this was awesome.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, are we wrapping up or is this it for
We're
today for
wrapping
the
up.
session? Sweet. We need to get like a new
That
sign
is a
off.
wrap.
No, this is good. It's a nice little closing, we fade out
Yeah.
into our nice little man image.
I'll see you in 8 years again.
No,
Elizabeth.
that's not. I'm not
Every 8
okay
years.
with that. We gotta. I can't believe it's been that long. That's just a shame.
But we've kept in touch, which is good.
I know. We just have
Yeah.
to. We'll do something together again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But
Well, this was
thank you
great.
so
Thank you all for
much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe
thank
we'll
you.
Yeah.
maybe we'll commit a murder together.
Okay.
We'll
Oh,
do
you
that.
guys.
Aw.
Yeah.
Aw.
Thanks, guys.
Make sure you film it. Make sure you film it.
Well, we'll film
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah.
And then
There you go.
just have to try and convince people that
Just
it's
the
not real.
audio, and then we'll just play it on
Just the
here.
audio.
There it is.
Wait, what?
Awesome. Great.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Nice.
Yes,
See you
Thank
guys
so much.
you.
All right.
Bye,
Until
everyone.
Yep.
next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.